The Steelers are 3-0 winning their home opener versus the Los Angeles Chargers by a final score of 20-10. And I got to say, man, I got a lot to say about this team and about this win specifically. Before we break down my game balls, my takeaways, latest injury updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers, type W for me down in the chat. The Steelers are 3-0. It's awesome, man. Being in this position, just knowing the history of the National Football League, knowing the likelihood of teams that start the year 3-0 to make the playoffs, it's a really good spot to be in if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So celebrate today's win by spamming those W's for me down there in the comments section. Now, injuries today versus the Chargers. The big one is Alex Highsmith, who left the game with a groin injury, did not return. I'm sure Mike Tomlin might give a little bit of an update on him in the press conference, but I guess we'll see. I'm filming this before Mike Tomlin takes the podium, by the way. So listen, Alex Highsmith, really going to miss him if he's going to miss time. Really hope it's not a serious injury, but Nick Herbig certainly showed that he's capable of filling in for him if he is, in fact, going to miss time. Then Corey Trice Jr., the starting dime backer and then backup outside corner, left the game with a hamstring injury. And if you know anything about hamstring injuries, these things can linger. So hopefully Corey Trice is going to be fine, but we'll have more updates on these guys as the week goes on. So the game balls here versus the Chargers. First one goes to Justin Fields. First home win as a Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback. Absolutely awesome. He did everything that he needed to do today, in my opinion, to really make the decision tough on Mike Tomlin and the coaching staff here in Pittsburgh. Kudos to him. And, he's definitely done everything that he needed to do today, man. 25 of 32. He was efficient. He did throw his first interception to turn over the ball for the first time in his Steelers tenure. Wasn't a good play, but he had some seriously big boy throws in this football game, threw a touchdown, made some big-time plays. And honestly, the run game wasn't super explosive in this football game, especially in the first half, and he had to carry the offense for the first portion of this football game. So kudos to Justin. It's out of his hands now. It's now in the hands of Mike Tomlin to decide if he's going to continue as this team's starting quarterback, but kudos to the young QB for a good day at Acrisure. Then we get to Nick Herbig, who had to come in and fill in for Alex Highsmith. And those are pretty big shoes to fill. And he was awesome, man. He had 2 big sacks in this game. He had a strip sack fumble. We saw it last year. We saw the flashes from him last year as a third edge rusher. We're seeing it this year. He is such a good speed rusher off the edge. He's got incredible bend as well. And he made Rashawn Slater, one of the best left tackles in football, look like his B word is what I'll say. I'm not gonna cuss on the cut, but Nick Herbig was awesome today, man. He deserves a game ball, and honestly, I still feel comfortable with this Steelers defense as long as Alex Highsmith is out. Then we get to Calvin Austin III, and he had that big touchdown in the second half to pretty much seal this football game. So happy for him, man. He was much more involved in the game plan this week than he was in the first 2 weeks. He had 4 catches today, almost 100 yards receiving and a tud. He had that 55-yard touchdown from Justin Fields in the fourth quarter to get this thing to 20-10. So big kudos to Calvin Austin. He is dynamic with the ball in his hands. I think from here on out, Arthur Smith is really going to make it a point to get the ball in this kid's hands in open space as much as he can. Then a couple of running backs get game balls here. Najee Harris and Cordarrelle Patterson are going to get game balls from me today. Bruising run game in the second half, man. Chargers defense got so tired, and they couldn't stop these 2 bruising running backs. Cordarrelle Patterson, if I would have told you that he would be like a legitimate option in these 4-minute drill situations to pound opposing defenses' paws, you probably would have said, Jack, he's just a kick returner. He's not going to provide much for you on offense. But, man, 4 carries today, picked up multiple first downs, 33 yards total. I thought Cordarrelle Patterson definitely showed himself to be one of the better depth running back pieces in the National Football League today, and he's also one of the best return men in the game as well. Najee Harris, 18 carries for 70 yards. That's not a sexy stat line, but man, like what I love about Najee is that even when the offensive line doesn't get a good push, Najee can give you that extra push, right? Maybe you get 2 yards of push, you hit the line after 2 yards, and then Najee goes forward for another 2 more yards after contact. And that can be the difference between a first down and a fourth down right there. So having a guy like Najee Harris definitely fits what the Pittsburgh Steelers want to do offensively. And I thought that, he was definitely running his ass off today, picking up that extra yardage. So let me know down there in the comments section, who was the MVP of today's game? Was it Justin Fields? Was it Nick Herbig? Was it somebody else? It's today's pinned comment, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time, but let me know who is today's MVP. Now, coming up here, I've got my takeaways. I got 5 takeaways out of this game. And coming up here, I'm going to tell you who I think should be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Week 4 versus the Indianapolis Colts. But before I reveal who I think QB1 should be moving forward, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time, which is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. And folks, we all know that experiencing a sporting event, especially a football game live, is unlike anything you can get from watching the game on your couch, whether it's the Panthers or the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you can go see a game live, man, that's just an environment you want to be at. Now, Game Time Picks is the brand new feature on the Game Time app, which filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Super easy to use. You just find a game on Game Time that you want, or an event. It could be a concert, could be a music festival, could be a comedy show, whatever. You find an event you want to go to, you select the Game Time Picks button at the top of the screen, and it automatically filters every single ticket in their database for that event, so that you, and it filters it out to find you the best deals and the great seats, all that great stuff. Something else I love about Game Time is you get the lowest price guarantee on any ticket to any event. All-in pricing right on the app, so you don't get slapped with a crazy fee at checkout. And then they also have flash deals. So if you're like me and you like to get wait to the last minute to get your tickets, and it's kind of spur of the moment kind of thing, you can get even cheaper tickets than the already guaranteed low prices Game Time provides the closer you wait to game time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. So, first takeaway. I think you keep rolling with Fields. Now, you guys know that I have been from the very start, even, when the debate was should they trade for Justin Fields or sign Russell Wilson. I've been a Russell Wilson guy. All right? But I think that Justin Fields had a certain something to prove today, and I think he made enough big boy throws. He made enough progression-type throws down the field today for me to feel comfortable rolling with him moving forward. And honestly, guys, you think about Russell Wilson, what he brings to the table as a passer, I'm not sure if the Steelers' wide receiver room is good enough right now, frankly, to have a pure pocket passer back there. I think Russ, his athleticism is gone. Justin Fields is just getting started. So to have a guy like Fields who is good enough as a drop-back passer but can also create something with his legs, I think it's going to make this offense the best it can possibly be this year. And at the end of the day, if you're winning football games like they are with Justin Fields, and today I think they won in part because of Justin Fields and the way he played, I think you just got to keep rolling with him at this point. Then we get to Roman Wilson, who was the big surprise of the day because he didn't play at all. He practiced fully on Thursday and Friday, and the team sat him down as an inactive player today. Now, my best guess here is that the reason for that is that he's just not ready to play. He doesn't have the language down. He's not at the same level as everybody, and that's understandable because he didn't really have a training camp and he didn't really have practice time in the first 2 weeks. But now is the time here where he really needs to get it going. And, the fact that the Steelers, with this wide receiver room, felt like it was necessary to sit him down, even though he's apparently healthy now, it's not a good sign for Roman Wilson. It definitely shows that he still has things to work on before the Steelers trust him on the field this year. Then we get to Calvin Austin III. And listen, man, I said it when he got that touchdown pass. We have our wide receiver too, at least for now. I think that the Steelers will be buyers at the trade deadline. I think that's abundantly clear. If there's a receiver that they like that comes available, they're going to aggressively pursue that player at the deadline. But for the time being, it does seem to me like Calvin Austin III is just more valuable than Van Jefferson. He's better after the catch. I think he's a better route runner than Van is right now. He can obviously take the top off of defense if you need him to. He's not going to provide much for you in the run game, but you just don't run it to his side of the formation. So for now, Calvin Austin III is your wide receiver too. That is until either A, Roman Wilson solidifies himself as this team's number 2 receiver, or they make a move for a receiver via trade or free agency. So subscribe to the show if you haven't already, man. Really do appreciate your guys' support. I really do, this has been the fastest growing Steelers channel for last year plus, but we just passed over 60,000 subscribers. We are now the largest individually run Steelers news program here on YouTube. So thank you guys for all of your support. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to click that subscribe button for daily videos, now's the time to do so. Another takeaway I have is that, once again, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is unreal. Most defenses can't lose a guy like Alex Highsmith and not skip a beat. Listen, man, in the second half of this football game, I know Taylor Heineke came in eventually, But this Chargers offense with J.K. Dobbins and that bruising run game had 0 yards of offense in the second half. This Steelers defense was ravenous in the second half. They showed that they had the depth. They showed that they had the resiliency. They showed they had the stamina to stick with a team like the Chargers, a very physical football team. And, man, T.J. Watt is so freaking good. Cam Hayward was really good today. Nick Herbig really showed out. And then Joey Porter Jr. was locking down Quinn Johnson all day except for that play where he got baited by Justin Herbert. But, man, this defense is truly special. It's one of the best Mike Tomlin has ever had in his career, and I'm so happy about it. My final takeaway here is I love this team. I love the way this team plays. I love Justin Fields as the quarterback of this team. I think he fits exactly what the Steelers need. He's a guy that, is good enough as a passer to make some big-time throws like he did today. He's not the best drop-back passer in the world. This is not a team that can afford to go down multiple scores every week. This is not a team that, if you need a touchdown on a 2-minute drill, Justin may not be the type of guy that can deliver that for you consistently. But, man, with this defense, giving them a lead, Justin Fields is more than good enough of getting this team to a lead, keeping that lead, and then choking the clock at the end of the game. I love the way this team plays. I love the mentality that Mike Tomlin has these guys playing at. And, hey, man, you're 3-0 for a reason. All right, now it's red pen time. Grade the Steelers' performance today, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. As a whole, I'm going to give them an A-, okay? I really like the way this team played. It wasn't a perfect game, but they significantly reduced the penalties. That's a big point of emphasis that the Steelers had this week. They did a great job of that. Thought Broderick Jones got a little bit of a break with Joey Bosa getting injured, but hey, he held his own in this one. Let's put it that way. And Justin Fields made the throws that he needed to make this a 2-possession victory. I've seen what I've needed to see from Justin Fields to be comfortable with him as the number one quarterback on this team. However, if they do go to Russell Wilson, I'd be fine with that as well to see what he can do with this Steelers offense as well. But if I'm making the call and if I am head coach Mike Tomlin, I am going with Justin Fields as my QB1 moving forward. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Again, make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate your support. We'll be back live tomorrow on Steelers Talk Live to preview next week's matchup versus the Indianapolis Colts and put a bow on this one against the Chargers. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you click that subscribe button right now.